Guten Tag, welcome back to cfc-tv. This is my review of the Bournemouth versus Chelsea match. It finished 4-1 to us. I mean, who would have thought we can score 4 goals? Um, Sorry if you hear some noises. I got the window open, it's quite warm in here. Never mind that. So starting with the lineup as usual. Obviously, Thibaut Courtois was banned because of the red card he picked up against Manchester City. So it was obviously Begovic in goal. The back four was a bit different because obviously John Terry is still injured. He might be available for the Spurs game next week, but he's not yet ready to play. And Gary Cahill was sort of ill in the morning and he travelled back to London. So it was a bit surprising because Azpilicueta started on the right, obviously. Then Ivanovic as the centre back and Bob Brown on the left, but the second centre back was John Mikel. Zuma, Terry injured, Cahill sick, and Miazga really didn't do well against Swansea. So I wasn't even too disappointed about seeing Mikel start there, to be honest, because he's shit going forward anyway when he's playing defensive mid. So I didn't really mind him playing there. Of course, his positional awareness might not be ready to play centre back, but I thought he could probably do a decent job, and most likely better than Matt Miazga. Then in holding midfield, Fabregas obviously kept his spot, and Nemanja Matic got a game again, which I was quite happy about because I don't see a future for Mikel at the club, and if Nemanja Matic can pick up some form, I still think he's a great player if he's on form, and I would prefer to keep him than sell him off because he's a good player, and if he wants to stay and Antonio Conte, would like to use him, I would, happily have Nemanja Matic stay. Then the three behind the striker were quite surprisingly to me because Eden Hazard, Gus Hiddink said he was fit in the press conference yesterday, but he said he wouldn't play the whole game. So he was injured for a while now, almost 2 months, I think. And I thought he would come on after 60 minutes or something, get half an hour or something. But he started the game, and I was really happy with that. So obviously Hazard started on the left, Willian started in the middle, and Pedro started on the right. Even though those three, they always shift around, don't they? So I was happy to see Hazard back. And up front, it was obviously Diego Costa. The game started off great. It was a great through ball by Fabregas to Pedro, and he just sort of opened his body up and chipped the keeper. Great finish by him, and I was really happy by it. And then a bit later on in the second half, Bournemouth had a chance here and there. It was an open game, not a great game, but an open game. Well, exciting to watch, but still not the best quality of football as you'd expect if the 10th plays the 13th. But and then Eden Hazard finally scored his first league goal. He scored it from open play as well. It was a nice little pass by Cesc Fabregas, and then he took the shot from 23, 25 yards or something. He put it bottom corner, nothing the keeper could have done about it. Everybody was really happy about it. Obviously, he was. I was really happy to see that, to be honest. Then, just a minute later, I think 90 seconds or something, Bournemouth got a goal back from was it a corner? I'm not quite sure. I think it was a corner. Not the greatest of defending by Ivanovic in that moment because he basically forgot about the player. Who was it? I can't pronounce his name. Can't think of it right now. But he put it in. Then we had a big chance by Pedro just before half time. Basically, the same kind of chance as from what he scored his first goal, but he just about put it over the bar. Should have done better with it, to be honest. But we went into half time at 2-1, and I was like, well, let's hope we can continue like this, maybe even better. I was surprised that Hazard continued in the second half because I thought, okay, if it starts, he's probably going to come off at half time. But no, he stayed on. And Bournemouth changed their style a little bit. They started sitting back a bit more. We started to controlling the game properly, and it wasn't that easy for us to get in right away. It took us quite a while. And Bournemouth didn't really have a big chance, before that. But and then we made it 3-1, sorry, through Willian. Another amazing ball by Fabregas over the top of the defence, and Willian just chipped the keeper, similarly to how Pedro did for the first goal. So yeah, that was basically game over, to be honest. Bournemouth made a few changes. They brought Callum Wilson on and Afobe for who started up front for them? Joshua King and what's the other guy's name? Can't pronounce it. So I was a bit wary of Callum Wilson because he's a good player. He's just come back from injury, and I think they made that sub before we made it 3-1. So I was glad when we made it 3-1 because as I said, it was basically game over. And then really close to the end, Hazard made it 4-1. Great little piece of play by Cesc, Hazard, Willian, Matic. Matic ran to the touchline, pulled it back, and Hazard just put it in. Great to see. Overall, it was a good performance, especially in the second half. But Bournemouth didn't have a great game, if we're going to be honest. Defensively, we looked a little bit shaky. Not a little bit. Actually, we looked quite shaky in the first half. But what do you expect? 3 actual centre-backs are all injured or sick in Terry, Zuma and Cahill. So I know Ivanovic was originally a centre-back, but he's played right-back for us for years. So obviously he's played centre-back now for a few weeks. But still, it's not like a position he's perfectly used to. And to put Mikel next to him, obviously a completely new partnership. But so basically I expected to be a bit shaky at the back. I'm going to talk about Baba Rahman, who was very shaky as well individually. But overall was a good performance against not the best of teams. But it's great to see Hazard score, especially too. It should be a huge boost of confidence for him, which could be vital for us going into that Spurs game next week. Which basically, if we win that, if we beat Spurs, we basically take away their title chances, let's be honest, except Leicester lose, but I highly doubt that against Swansea. I know they're playing Swansea tomorrow, aren't they? Well, against whoever they play next week. But yeah, so that was really good. To talk about the players individually, Begovic, he made quite a few decent saves. I was very happy with him. He had one shaky moment, but he got away with it. Yeah, I was happy with him. Azpilicueta didn't have his greatest of games, if I'm going to be honest. He got done by quite a few times by Pew, or however you pronounce his name. But it was a decent performance, not terrible. Talking about Ivanovic, as I said, he was partly at fault for the goal Bournemouth scored, but otherwise he was quite good. He had his problems with Joshua King, who's quite pacey and got in behind, but he dealt with him. He was outpaced all the time, but he put his body on the line and he used his body strength to just keep them from doing anything, even with those long balls to the pacey striker. Mikel, you saw here and there, he played people onside, by not being in the perfect position. It was a bit shaky here and there. He basically gave away a penalty in the end of the first half, but a bit lucky there. Maybe he got a slight touch to the ball, but definitely after he fouled the other player. So was a Ben, to be honest. We were a bit lucky there, because if we went into half-time with 2-2, who knows what could have happened. And then coming to Baba Rahman, I say every week, he's just the worst player we have at the moment. He's probably, in my opinion, he's one of the worst Chelsea players ever, or at least one of the worst Chelsea players in the Roman Abramovich era. Of course, I haven't watched every player in the 50s, obviously. But Baba Rahman, he's always out of position. When I say Ivanovic had problems with Joshua King, well, why exactly is Baba Rahman there? They didn't play Joshua King right through the middle. They always played him out on our left defensive side, and always Ivanovic was the one who had to follow him, because Baba Rahman was way too far up the pitch, and Baba Rahman would have the pace to follow Joshua King and even outpace him, but he was never there. That he gave away sloppy passes. He had one cross, seriously, he just rolled out to him. It wasn't like he got a really hard pass, right? So it was difficult for him to cross it. No, it was a slow ball. It was rolling onto him. He tried to cross it, and he almost put it over the goal. Over the stand, behind the goal. Look, how do you even do that? You tried to cross a ball, and you almost put it over the ground. I mean, fair enough. Bournemouth don't have the highest stadium, because they only have one tier. But still, being serious, Baba. But yeah, no, I'm not too happy with him. I can't wait until Terry's back, hopefully next week. So even though Azpilicueta on the right is better than Ivanovic, but I'd much rather have Ivanovic on the right and Azpilicueta on the left than Baba Rahman playing. Being serious. Coming to Nemanja Matic, I was really hoping for him to have a good performance. It wasn't the perfect performance, He was a bit slow to track back sometimes, but he got his interceptions in. His passing was decent. He didn't get pushed off the ball. He had a good performance. Obviously, assisted the fourth goal. I was quite happy with him. I hope he can just kick on from there and get play each and every game from now on, so he can get a boost of confidence and just feel like he wants to stay. Because I'm not sure if he actually wants to stay. Obviously, if he's not playing a lot, a lot of things are going to change with a new manager, so he doesn't know yet if he's going to play or not. But I'm just really hoping for Nemanja Matic to stay because he had a good performance today. And then coming to the man of the match today, by far the man of the match, he was incredible. Cesc Fabregas. He assisted the first 3 goals. Would have assisted another one if Pedro would have scored that close to half time. He was incredible. The balls he played today, like through balls on the ground, over the top balls, like he put one. I think it bounced and he put it he basically passed it, volley past it, and he gave it a back spin so it landed quite a bit in front of Hazard, landed, rolled back to Hazard. Hazard could just pick it up and then we almost scored from that. Incredible performance by Cesc Fabregas. Of course, Cesc Fabregas always needs a bit of space to play like he did today, and Bournemouth gave him that space, which is their fault, but not every player uses the space as well as he did today when they are given it, and you can just see what a difference it makes if you put Nemanja Matic next to him when he plays decent, instead of Mikel. Because Nemanja Matic knows how to run. And as I said in the last video, I think, Mikel has lost his, sprinting button because he just doesn't know how to sprint. As I said, I've never seen him sprint in my life, I think. So it was a huge difference because you could just see how Fabregas could concentrate on the game going forward, even though his defensive work was quite decent as well. He got a few interceptions in, good reading of play. Incredible performance by him. I was really happy. Coming to Hazard, in the first half, he started off a bit slow. Like, it took him a bit to get him, get in the flow of the game. But he was injured for 2 months or something, so I completely understand that. Then he obviously scored his goal, which was incredible. He went past a few players, got, good touches here and there, decent passing, not incredible passes like Fabregas played. But, he was quite good, and it's just incredible to see. Hopefully, as I said, it will give him a boost of confidence. In the second half, he got a bit tired. I haven't mentioned it yet. I was really surprised that he got the full 90 minutes, especially because Hiddink said he's not going to play the whole game. But he did. He looked tired towards the end, not going to lie. But, he scored in, was it injury time or was it just before the 90 minutes? But, so, can't really complain, can you, if he scores that late on. Didn't pick up an injury, so that was good. Then coming to Willian, obviously scored the 3rd goal, which was probably a second most important, well, actually our most important goal, I feel like, after the game, because he just killed it off, basically. His game was good, linking up with everyone. He was just good. He had, I hope it's not a hamstring injury. I hope it was just a cramp because he got taken off Ruben Loftus-Cheek towards the end. But I hope it's not that serious, but, there's nothing really to play for. As mean as it sounds, if it would be a hamstring injury that will keep him out of the Copa America, I wouldn't be too mad about that because he wouldn't have to summer off again because apparently he wants to play the Copa America and the Olympics. So he's going to miss 4 games until he's even back from, of course, he still gets a little holiday. Then he still has to work on pre-season, so by the time he's actually fit to play, it's probably going to be September or something. Or even later, But, we'll have to wait and see for that. But obviously, I don't hope he's injured. Coming to Pedro, he scored his first goal, had a good game. He did a lot of running. Was always available to receive the ball. And as I said, he should have done better on his chance close to half time. But he had a good game overall. I was quite happy with him. Talking about Diego Costa, he didn't have his best game, but we played a bit differently than we did in the recent weeks. We played a lot of short passing in midfield between Fabregas and the 3 behind the striker. And Costa, he was making good runs, but he was more like the person to cut it back to the other players, who were running in the box then. He had one good shot, but it was a good block. But he put in the effort. He did a lot of running, so I can't really say it was a bad performance. He just didn't do a lot. But that was, I think, today down to our tactics. Ruben Loftus-Cheek came on, didn't really do much. Obviously, the game was basically over. We were 3-1 up at the time he came on. He may put in a great sliding tackle to stop their counter-attack, but other than that, he didn't do much. But yeah, again, a bit annoying by Gus Hiddink, to be honest, to only make one substitution. You know, Pato could have played, Traore, Kennedy, all of them could have come on. But yeah, so to finish you off, I'm really happy with it. You know, hopefully we can take some of that confidence into next week's game against Spurs. Hopefully John Terry can be back, because he will be vital for us. Because Spurs are a very, very, very good team with Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen. You know, we need to be solid at the back, and without John Terry, we're just not. So yeah, I hope he's fit for that. And otherwise, I don't really have much to say. Good performance by us. Not against the best opponent, but you know, you can only beat what is put in front of you, and we did convincingly. So yeah, I was happy with that, and I'm gonna see you guys for a review of the Spurs game. See you then. Actually, just forgot that. Obviously, before all of that, I would highly appreciate if you subscribe if you haven't already. I'm at 99 subs now, so really, really, really close to 100. Which, as I said in my last video, I would highly, I'm very much, hoping for reaching that, because it would be sort of a first step to, getting a bit bigger, basically. If you have anything to add to our performance, anything to add to what I said, or disagree with me in any sort of way, leave it down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like rating. And as I said before, see you next time.